Oh dear, I haven't got the
mic turned on, but now I do. Happy days. He was moving things around in that. This lag on the stream's always a mad one. Just gonna have a drink. How are you today? Good, I hope. I see the comments is buzzing as usual. Honestly, it's one of the really nice things seeing people like come together as a community around the live stream. It's just nice seeing people like understand that they're not going through things alone, but also there's like an affinity. I love that shit, man. So big up yourselves. I love that excrement. Sorry, YouTube. I'll get it. I'll understand how to not swear one day, but like I'm a bit sort of it operates on a handicap system if you're from Gateshead, you see, because like you come out of the womb swearing. So I'm far less feral than what I was when I was young, but one of them will slip out. There's nothing you can do being from Gateshead. 2 seconds. So, how are you getting on? Let us see. Let's have a look. Did you? Morning, Mike. Wonderful, Joanne. Thank you very much. Leon, I think me and Zoe are like bros for life proper. That's kind of what I was referring to as well. Just like the fact that you found out you have this affinity between each other, like via the comments. It's mint. I love that, man. That's when the internet's a beautiful thing, yeah. Michael's in. Good morning, Mr. C. Bloody freezing. Oh God, what can I say to that? It's speaking to my mum and dad. I just like this winter is so long, and I'm so gutted that they've retired, and this is like this world and the cost of living is the thing that they're having to think about. It shouldn't be. They've paid into the system all their lives. Working people, you know, working class people. My dad was a warehouseman, and my mother was a dinner lady, and now they're retired, and they've worked their fingers literally to the Flefflin bone. It's 2 minutes 20, and that story will be repeated millions of times, and I just despise the people who've done this. And one of the drivers for me to do this and some of the other things that I do that I don't talk about on here is that seeing good people like them just thrown to the winds, you know what I mean? They shouldn't be paying all this money and worrying about putting the heating on. Absolutely disgusting. So yeah, that's my rant about things. That's been Cow Daily. That's 3 minutes of your life you'll never get back. I'll see you later. Bye. Joanne is saying, sitting in the house, just got back from school and kept my coat on. That just shouldn't be the thing, man. Like the basics that anybody should expect is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And you should have a warm place to be in to get through winter. I mean, is this like one of the only generations that hasn't had like fuel security, like en masse anywhere? There's always been poverty, but if you're scared about putting the heating on, that's poverty. You're sitting in the house with your coat on, that's poverty. They can change the definition of it all they want, but that's poverty. So anyway, Slaz, I've got my woolly Gansey on, Brassic in it. Jojo, every time I'm cold, I get angry at the government to warm up. Good. Be like a centrifuge and use that hate to warm your cockles and soul. Good morning to you as well. Also good morning to K as well. That's a mystery name, but Special K will call you. Hello. I like how you've just went with like the one thing, like Prince or Cher. I'm K. Hi. Although we did dub Chat GPT G last week, so there you go. So anyway, today we're going to talk about Sinn Féin. We're going to talk about some Labour Party stuff, how to be done, what you're going to do, and some other cooler things. I'm Kirsty. Which Kirsty? Are you Kirsty Smith or is it different Kirsty? I don't know. Leon's saying, ended up having a mental night, to be honest. Went for some drinks, was out after midnight. It was still just as ugly after 12. I don't even know what he's talking about. You know what it is? I'm going to stop putting comments up on the screen without reading them, because you're all having like bromance now. So, now to do with the show, is it? David Teasdale pops up. Nice to see you. That's your hat trick, pal. I wish there was like some kind of like hat trick award. 3 in a row, 3 days on the spin. No mean feat as well, considering yesterday went out in the afternoon instead of the 9:30 time. But anyway, before we move into what we're going to talk about, if you could share the stream, let people know we're around. We're doing the 9:30 thing. That'll be a happy time in my life if you would let them know. Also, if you just like and comment on things, it really helps the algorithm. Somebody told us the other day, like saving the post, like does that as well. So like, when people save things to come back to later. So there you go. That would be helpful. Thank you very much. Also, if you want to support work, go to patreon.com/cowdaily. That's patreon.com/cowdaily. Link in the description for PayPal if you want to make a one-off contribution to our work. I've said that so many times, I've got to kind of like use a different array of voices now, because I guess it's like when like name a band who's like has to play that tune. Otherwise nobody's buying tickets for their shows. That's same energy, is how it feels. So apologies for keep bringing it up, but also not apologies, because I need some heat in my radiator. So all the best, and thank you to everybody who does that and has been doing that. I really appreciate it. What I don't appreciate though is StreamYard took a mad one on us. Right, we're back. There we go. Sometimes I think it might be me, StreamYard. I don't know. Right. All right. Leon's saying one trick on YouTube is to get people to all like at the same time. So you should try to organize it so we all like the video at the same time early in the stream. It pushes you on live on YouTube. Wow, I didn't know that. Like, why don't we do? Let's do that. We're 7 minutes 11 in. So is that early enough? Right. Everybody like it. Everybody like the thing, and see what it does. That's a cool trick, man. Let's do it. Leon, will you remind me every day, and we'll try that, because it would be interesting to see if that does work. Because I have seen, like when I've watched people like do lives on Instagram and that, they'll wait for a couple of minutes and go like the thing. I want 100 likes before I'd say anything, which I'm not going to do, which is just like weird, But if you would do it anyway, that would be good. So yes, agree with the like thing. NSF do that loads. Cool, let's do it. Leon's happy to pitch in. Cheers for reminders, right? Well, let's try that. Things like that would be really interesting, because I'm in that phase now. We're like learning and stuff, because my brain's much less foggy, and I've learned a lot of the edit and stuff, at least to get it out for the audio and the video. Still learning bits, but it's decent. So I'm learning about like how to like market the work in 2023, which is very different from like 2015 when this started. So yes, so tips like that, Leon, are tremendous. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'm saying I will do that and send a video. Spiff and Brit as a video showing it on a large scale so you can see it in action. If you would, mate, that'd be good. Carlos has popped up. Good to see you this morning. Michael's saying, actually, before we do, yes, but do a countdown. We will indeed. Carlos is saying poverty. There's a big, almost poverty nostalgia within certain generations. Well, we survived it and it didn't do me any harm. Survivor syndrome. The big difference between then and now: stable, long-term supportive communities within slum areas, admittedly, as opposed to fragmented, broken, transient communities with no support now, often with drug use, self-medication. Honestly, the difference can't be underemphasized. Absolutely agree with you. There's large parts of the Northeast, to my mind, that I've seen personally through community work, which is like that. Places like Towlaw and Durham, flag central, flag shagging, drove through there loads of times, flags everywhere. Also, this whole sort of, remember how it used to be, we got through it, and it means to kind of look down their nose at a younger generation. And to be honest, I've got mad respect for the younger generation, because like en masse, they're just going, nah, not doing it. And I'm loving that kind of business. Jenny's popped in. Nice to see you this morning, pal. Always a pleasure. Monsieur Smith says, cycles of abuse are hard end for a lot of people. Poverty is the thing that keeps the cycle turning. Nice. Nice one. That's cool. Joanne's saying like number hasn't gone up, so me to refresh to say it. I see. So if you could do that and like it, that would be cool, and see if we can put that Leon's theory to the test. Right, before we start talking about the things, I'm just gonna have a quick drink and I'm one of them. Gotta get Zeb out, who's in the room actually. I forgot the big lad's down there. I tried to get him up on the bed. Like this 20 million times, and I'll show you me dog and get him to jump up on the bed, the big lad. Like it 27,000 times, and I'll get him to do a dance and exploit him as well. Anyway, what we're talking about. Let's have a look. Right. We'll start with that one. The suspense is killing you. Sinn Féin. Shin to the Féin. The Shinners. What you doing? What you saying? I never in my life, right, thought I'd see this. Sinn Féin's Michelle O'Neill to attend King Charles's coronation. My God. So I can't believe it, man. Party vice president says gesture demonstrates commitment to building good relations and advancing peace. Sinn Féin's vice president, Michelle O'Neill, who I quite like, she's all right, is to attend the coronation of King Charles, marking another step away from the party's strict Irish Republican heritage. O'Neill said on Wednesday that she had accepted an invitation to attend the 6th of May ceremony in London in order to further peace and reconciliation in Northern Ireland. She says, "We are living in a time of great change, a time to respect our differing and equally legitimate aspirations, a time to firmly focus on the future and the opportunities that the next decade will bring," O'Neill said in a sellout statement. No, I'm not even going down that road. "I'm an Irish Republican and I also recognise that there are many people on our island for whom the coronation is a hugely important occasion. I'm committed to being a First Minister for all, representing the whole community, building good relations between the people of these islands and advancing peace and reconciliation through respectful and mature engagement." Right then. I mean, on the surface, for me, that looks great and a noble gesture and whatever. And these things obviously don't come without problems. And the problems that I can see immediately are the militant wing of the Republican movement will do something raj. And that could be a bombing, a shooting. I mean, a cop I was shot recently. Also a journalist in the last short period of time, last few years, Lyra McKee. So that was when things were like, but now like that to a lot of people is a red rag to a bull, like going to the coronation of how they see it, the king of the empire or country. Well, that's not how they say it, how it is, like the occupying country. So I mean, it's like a game of Russian roulette, really, from the Shinners there. I really don't know how this one's going to go. I think on the balance of probability and what's going on there in the north of Ireland right now, I'm really worried about it, man, because I do see Sinn Féin and what they've done in terms of the sort of ballot box strategy and dropping the ballot box and Armalite strategy. I get it because of the birth rates, like if you have a referendum on a united Ireland, like it's likely that it would pass. And well, obviously if there wasn't any kind of like intervention, so to speak, in the democratic process, and we'll leave that there because of the guidelines. This isn't going to just happen and then there'll be noise and then nothing will happen. Things will happen. I just don't know which way that is likely to go longer term. Short to mid-term, things are totally going to happen because the Irish Republican movement is not unified by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. Never really has been, but like certainly not now. I think what we're looking at now, both sides of the border, is Sinn Féin have answers for actual questions people have now or problems that they have in their life, like the housing problems in certainly around Dublin, but also like in the north. So they have real, like imagine them, like a lot of their policies a bit like the Labour manifesto in 2017. Like that's roughly what Sinn Féin, the space that they inhabit. So people are like, I mean, there were in the last election in the North, I think they were like slightly just the biggest party, but the two other parties joined forces against them and formed a coalition government and kept them out of government. But it's inevitable that I think they'll form more governments, or at least have more power. So this could be a good strategy in terms of like all of that appealing to not maybe his new supporters, but people who maybe got turned off from him and think, I need answers now to the questions in my life rather than this like historical stuff. I can't feed me kids, you know? So O'Neill and Sinn Féin may be taking that approach and just thinking, well, it's going to piss off certain people within the movement, but in the wider society, it's going to give us more appeal. It also makes you wonder, are they going to take it a step further beyond that and swear an allegiance to the king, which would mean taking their seats as members of parliament? I mean, I can understand this going to the coronation, but that would be a step too far. Hell to the super. It'll just drive so much division, like just unfinished revolution being reignited, and you'll see a lot of younger people joining the whatever the RA are calling themselves this week. So I'm actually like feeling nervous about this. I'm watching it with great interest. So Ireland and that, all of them things. See what they're happening up in the comments here. Yeah. Now to Buchin, you don't care about Ireland. You don't care about my back. You still don't care at all. You just care about other things. That's all right. Never mind. But Sinn Féin, it's definitely one to watch. I appreciate there's loads of mad stuff going on in the world at the minute, but that could have real impact on. I mean, look, if you're watching this in the UK and you think, oh, well, it's got to do with me, everything. Like, this would really affect your life. Definitely, if there's a IRA bombing campaign, like where you live. I remember there was bloody firebombs in the Metro Centre when I was a kid. They got caught. I think there was some clothes got set on fire in Top Man and that. So it will affect me, you know. And I mean, these things do, because, like, you know, politics is so intertwined, aren't they? So anyway, further things we shall discuss. I'll just pull these up. Hold on, man. Right, here we go. No, that wasn't StreamYard's fault there. It was mine. Check this out. This is interesting. Shouts to Saul Staniforth once again, coming with those good vids. What he says here is, in relation to Tory Minister Jenrick saying the values of the people crossing in small boats threatens the UK. Adil Ray asks what Starmer thinks British values are. He says respect, dignity, tolerance. Adil follows up with asking, do the people on those boats have those values? So let us watch it. Let us see.
Talk about the small boat migrant crisis. The immigration bill was cleared last night, the final stage of the House. And meanwhile, Robert Jenrick, Immigration Minister, and Suella Braverman, Home Secretary, have put out an interesting narrative out there. They've faced a lot of opposition to it. They've talked about British values. The subject of British values has come up again, and the Home Secretary has said that the British values of a lot of these migrants coming on these small boats are at odds with the UK. And Robert Jenrick has said that the values and lifestyles of people crossing in small boats threaten the UK's social cohesion. You yourself in the past have talked about this thing about British values. I can't quite put my finger on what that means. What are British values according to you?
Well, I think British values are about respect, about dignity, about tolerance. I think whatever the topic is, they're core values, British values. But what I think is so...
But then would you say that people on those boats do have, will be people who have respect and all those values, and people around the world? I mean, is there any country you can think of that perhaps doesn't have those values?
Well, just talking about the people crossing on those boats. Firstly, I don't want anyone to make that crossing. I do think we should stop the boats. I don't want anybody making that terrible crossing. But I do accept and acknowledge that among the people crossing are desperate people who are being exploited by criminal gangs, who are taking their money to get them to make dangerous crossings in circumstances where they shouldn't be doing. Now, do I think we should stop the boats? Yes, I do. But
So where
these
would
are
you put those that come, and how many would you send back? Because I think people are pretty clear on Rishi Sunak's policy, stop the boats, one of his 5 priorities. How many people watching do you think are clear about your plan and the detail of it?
Well, let me set that out as quickly as I can, because I think 2 things are crucial on this. The first is to break the criminal gangs that are running this. And now I worked before as a politician as Director of Public Prosecutions, Chief Prosecutor for 5 years. And we put in place cross-border teams to break drug smuggling, gun smuggling across borders.
Talk about the small.
Well, how did that go for you, Starmer? Plenty drugs all hour. So basically, he's comparing human beings to drugs and the movement of drugs. Also, asked to define British values. It was some woolly bullshit, which is just not actually reflective of how a lot of British people are. So it's just more of this kind of like, well, it's just myth. It's a myth. It's like what I was talking about, like Tower and places of that nature, where there's a hell of a lot. It's like for years and years, like this kind of like flag shaggy fash stuff was happening in Durham. And had a fash presence as well, but now it's just kind of normalized, man. And people need to, like, this is the thing about like the flag shag and stuff. People need something to like feel part of, wrap themselves up in stuff, and it doesn't matter what it is. So like they can just be like wrapping them. Oh, it's about respect and dignity and all of this, but fuck those people who are trying to get a better life because they're fleeing poverty and extreme climate change. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like dealing with reality, is it? It's also not dealing with the reality that these people wrapped up in the flags might be using it like one of them mad Jimmy Savile space blankets at the end of the London Marathon soon, because there but for the grace of God go us all in terms of 2023 and our ability to not become refugees. And it's kind of out of our hands in a lot of ways. I think people fail to understand that it could be them at any time. And I think there's nothing like lived experience to change people's minds, I think. And maybe there's a hell of a lot of that about to come. But all of this, like, stop the boats. There's people in those boats. So what do you do with them? What happens? There's no plan. There's no like, yes, we'll commit to safe legal routes, because they know if they do, that the people that are trying to appeal to, i.e. flag shaggers, are going to just completely just ditch them, because in their minds they think that they're going to get votes from them, which is interesting, but not from what I've seen flying around mad WhatsApp groups and things like that. That's very, very unlikely to happen indeed. But I'm looking forward to these local elections. I mean, they're never really a proper litmus test, but I just want to see like what people actually do and how they behave when they've got a chance to actually go and do something practical in the real world in that sense. So just throwing some slides up here for you, and it'll make things a bit clearer. Just bear with us. It's running really slow today, my computer, which is a good chance to have a drink though. I think it needs bought an external hard drive to sort it out, because it's got that much video on it. It's ridiculous. So anyway, this is the real story I feel at the minute. This is from the Evening Standard. Sunderland man watched porn as he masturbated over captured seagull. David Lee, 40, from Roke Avenue, Sunderland, admitted causing unnecessary suffering to a herring gull at 1 a.m. last August the 17th. There he is there. It's David himself. Like, what do you even do with, like, what is this? What even is this? Slaz, massive laughs there. Leon, same. What do you do with this? Oh, there's a little bit of local parochial stuff going on from James. Standard Mackham. Like, I have to say, in mitigation, some of the people I love the most are Sunderland season ticket holders. They're really great friends. I can't have that. But if you think I wasn't going to show this Sunderland Man article, Sunderland Man to me has become, like, you know, in the States where it's Florida Man, And the whole vibe around that is just mad shit happens constantly. And it's just this whole genre of article, Florida man. Go and search Florida man in a search engine. Sunderland man is the Florida man of Britain. As Leon quite rightly says, just as I turn me head for a closing line, the Florida man of Britain. Thanks for that. James is saying, same, it's just banter. I love Mackems. Honestly, I don't believe you, and I do. Kay's saying, I live near there. People around here always complain about that street. Is Roker Avenue like Raj? Is it? Whereabouts in Sunderland is it? I mean, it may be in Roker, and I may look like a dafty. Is it near where the old football stadium was, Roker Park? Because I know Sunderland canny well. I used to do a bit of community work around the Grindon area. Kay's saying, Roker, is this the most turtly Roker thing ever? Sunderland man watch porn as he masturbated. Do you remember that like Busy, that like Diet Busy in the PCSO in London, who was caught knocking one off the wrist? It's got similar energy. So we'll have no judgments from the thin blue line. But at the same time, man, Mr. Smith, you're asking for directions to gull humping. I'm a journalist. I mean, I've got to go and document it. Kay's saying, proper Raj Street. Class. I love a Raj Street, me. My street's not that Raj like I grew up in, but it's a lot Raja than it's been in a lot of years. It was Raja, arguably, when I grew up there, but it seems a lot more quiet now. I think a lot of people are just staying inside. I don't know. But you hear like just things kicking off all the time. So is it like that? Just like you're just guaranteed to just like you could be on looking at your window at the top, like having a biff or something at night, and you look down and you're just watching like warfare in front of you. I saw somebody get stabbed. Like right, I just went to shut the curtains, looked out, wallop down the street. It was just like, no way. Somebody's just got stabbed and shut the fucking curtains. Ain't no grasses. A couple of years ago, there was a guy running around the roofs with a machete. Definite hood. That's 30. And it comes to hood. As soon as the machetes come out, that's like, yes, you're a certified hood. Leon saying, deep dive and guest reporter, the gull humping, that's either a through or an Attenborough documentary. It really is. It's like an amalgam of the two, isn't it? If like, you get like Thoreau and Attenborough to lob that tatty water in a petri dish, it would create the journalist that I hope to be. I could be there kind of like, if you throw a bit of AI in there, it could be like this organic AI cyborg thing that just goes and covers the stories that everybody just fears. I would go up and talk to this guy, stick a microphone under him, see what he's got to say. Slaz, both wonderful and wham. He's going to turn over a new leaf. That's turn over a new leaf. I see what you've done there. I see how you've danced, and that's a good one. There you can have your flowers. There's your laugh react from Zoe. David Teasdale. Saw this the other day, but I'm sure it was somewhere else. Can't find it now. Maybe it's become this epidemic of gull shagging. If you find a link, stick it in the comments, and I'll see if I can get it up on the screen for other instances of shagging gulls. It's horrible, but like if we just take like out of the mix at the minute, right? It's a horrible thing. Like animal abuse is awful. It's an absolutely bad thing, and with no link whatsoever. Do you want to see me dog? Do you want to see me puppies? Zeb. Oh, he's asleep. He's asleep. It was the same when I tried with DJ, just to like get him to do the whole thanks for all the kindness when he had me leg cut off. He was just like, get off us, man, I'm asleep. So you can't see him, but you can on another day. I will guarantee it. I'll get him to come in. He just won't stay up on that bed for some reason. He would be like really good background, wouldn't he? So just one thing I want to mention as well. Jason Lee used to play for Nottingham Forest, who got absolutely savaged by Baddiel and Skinner back in the day. He posted a video, which you should follow him on Instagram. It's a relatively new account. That's the official Jason Lee. He's doing really great work on anti-racism. So I I like to share these things and share these things from others when you just say something nice to people. I think the internet should be used for that. So I've just said to them, I'll have all the respect in the world for how you carry yourself as a man, Jason. I think many of us have learned a lot from you. Thank you. Absolutely. You just right, thanks. And that's a nice thing. He's seen it and he maybe felt good about that. And we should normalize this, normalize saying nice things to people. And where this has come from is me actually focusing on the nice things that you say to me and understanding how that makes us feel and understanding that that's got us through some bad days and took the edge off. So because you have done that, I've went and done that too. So thank you very much for making me a better lad. So anyway, no circus tricks from Zeb today. Sadly not. He's a kip. I had him on a 6K walk this morning, so he's just not bothered. Just cannot be bothered. Cannot be bothered at all. This was mad. This is from Antifa aka Revolution Pending on Twitter. A message to Keir Starmer. The left is still here and we will never go away. You may have cast us out of the party, but we'll never forgive and we will never forget. We will hound you till the end of your leadership. We will see you fall as we will rise. Fuck you. Strong words from Antifa Revolution Pending. Fucking yes now. I mean, I'm just pleased to see, right? I'm pleased to see people just standing up and just going, you know, I've just had enough. Fuck you. Because there's no point in being nice to people who act in bad faith. If we haven't worked that out by now, and it's like that quote that I'll butcher because I don't have the tweet to hand, but Dr. Vega Shah saying that you just get into a negative feedback loop if you try and like mollycoddle or placate arseholes who are committed to misunderstanding you and also acting in bad faith towards you. So just don't do it. Like, we spent years and years trying to like sort of reason with racists and things online, and it's just a waste of time. There's, I think, once in that whole time, and I've still got the screenshot somewhere on iCloud, there was a guy who he changed his view because of the interactions that were had, and it was a beautiful thing. And I wanted to write an article about that one time, then I got ill and didn't happen. So I've still got screenshots. I'll pull them out, like, because it's a nice, hopeful thing. But yeah, just strong things like this are where it's at. He deserves the fuck you, and he deserves everything they're saying. So nobody trashes your name better than somebody who's afraid you'll tell people the truth. I'm just going to leave that up on the screen while I have a drink. 2 seconds. Enjoy. Oh man, I think I need another drink. Just leave that on the screen. Oh, really thirsty today. Lush. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. So Labour Party being fact-checked once again. The Labour Party will introduce a new spiking offence to support victims and police. It's part of the whole new strong infographics. So spiking, this Twitter has added this: spiking is illegal under current laws, e.g. the Sexual Offences Act 2003, which says it's an offence to administer substance to another person without their consent with the intention of stupefying or overpowering them and enabling sexual activity. Probably for me to go to bat for one of Tories, but that's already a thing. I don't want a Labour government. I want revenge, grot bags. There you go. That's what we've got today. I think the most important story is definitely being Sunderland Man. So I'm going to go off and do an internet search. If you ever find any more Sunderland Man articles, just hook a brother up and we'll make it a thing. Thanks for just all of your kindness and support over the last few years. Really, there's been a lot of positive things happening for us outside of the Milk the Cow and all of that, and I wouldn't be able to take them on without just the support when I was like not very well. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and say thank you. Although I do sound unwell, I'm not. So yeah, just thanks again, man. And I wish I could tell you why and all of that, but I like to keep certain things separate from this because it's just not arseholes as well as cool people who hate us. So fuck you, and you'll have to work harder than that. But there's some good shit going on, and one day I might be able to tell you. Think of the seagull. That's right. See you later, and just have a fucking belter of a day. You'll deserve it. See you. Bye. Twa. Love you. Twa. Twa now.